Let's do the show. Let's kick some ass. Let's do something good.
You sure you want to hold that cup of coffee right now?
I think I'm gonna start the podcast.
Don't say I didn't. Don't say I never gave you
the podcast right there. Let me see. That's 12 minutes and 14 seconds. Yeah, I mean 12, 14. I gotta go find that spot right there and do something good, and just lead from there. Cut out some of that. Yeah. Sure.
Ladies and really, did we just talk about this coffee cup? Gentlemen, welcome back to the JKWD podcast, where Kelvin is insistent upon spraying coffee all over his machine. Every time I go to start, he picks up his coffee cup, and if you've been listening for 245 episodes, that's a really bad idea.
I'm crying. I don't know what to do with this. Crazy. Yeah, you're right.
How you doing? Except, looking for an excuse to buy a new monitor.
Well, luckily it's far enough away from my mouth that I'd probably just wet the desk in front of it at the time. But other than that, I'm doing okay, man. It is Central New York today. Not the day that the podcast is aired, but it's March 12th. The sun is shining. It's 70 degrees or something like that. And it don't get much better than that here in Central New York.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
So I'm having a good time. I'm looking at blue skies, and I'm inside and I'm feeling the sun. So it's like, yeah, give me a walk in some of that. That's it. Without good coffee. Stuff.
All right. Well, we got some lilies in the pots on the porch, and I had some cherry tomatoes growing on the patio. I got to clear out some of that North American bamboo it's just ugly. Grows up along the house, and I'm going to try to pull it out and see if it
deep, didn't it?
I have no idea. I'm going to try to pull it out and see if it just goes away. I'm guessing it's not going to, but I want to put some blueberry bushes over there, and give us some nice, pretty stuff in the yard, and some stuff we'll eat. Because I know all those blueberries will get eaten, and I know all those tomatoes will get eaten. Hopefully the lilies will not get eaten. They'll just be pretty.
Well, if you just start boiling lilies, let me know.
All right. Well, I don't even know if they're edible. I know that
before I visit, yeah.
I know there are a bunch of edible flowers. We get them sometime from our friends over at Billy's Botanicals. A lot of first ones he gave us were nasturtium, and those are good.
Say that word again.
Nasturtium.
Got it.
The leaves are sweet, and the stems are a little tangy.
Sounds like honeysuckle. Probably not.
Maybe I don't know. But now sometimes we get little packets, and one of the things in there is I don't know what the flower is actually called, but it's a little tongue buzzer. They're little yellow, they're little yellow, not quite dandelion looking things, right. But you put them in your mouth, and your tongue goes numb for a minute. It's very strange, and
that's going to be a new word in my vocabulary.
Tongue buzzer. I don't know.
Trouble this week. So how you doing?
We should try popping those and doing a podcast.
Oh, that could be fun. Yeah, let's think about it. That'll be a special episode.
Yeah, well, that'll be a bonus episode just in case.
Yes, sir, buddy.
We're brought to you today by Vitamin K Daily. Go get yourself 4 weeks free. The first thing I read every day. It's your daily dose of positive from the Prince of Positive himself. Monday through Friday, wake up, Find out why your day is going to be awesome, or how you can make your day more awesome if it's not already awesome. After that, just $24.95 a year. You don't. If it turns out it's not for you, just cancel before your 4 weeks are up. But go check out vitaminkdaily.com. That's no spaces, just vitaminkdaily.com.
Yeah.
Get stuff 4 weeks free. We're going to play some music, and we're going to talk about it being the end of the first quarter of the year already.
Josh and Kelvin World Domination Podcast, where we talk about better humanhood and teach you how to dominate your world. You ready? Here we go.
Happy almost April. Holy cow. Like Kelvin said in the intro, we're actually recording the first half of March still, but we're going to talk about just hitting the marker on that calendar and just remembering to check in with yourself, see where you're at, see if it's a good time to revisit some stuff, or
next
if you need to get turned back around. I know we've had a lot of great guests in the first quarter of the year, but we don't want to get bogged down with just thinking about who we've talked to and what we've heard from them. We also have to do the work. It's not just about taking in the input, right? So
that's correct.
How are you?
As they used to say in MKMMA, knowledge doesn't apply itself.
That's right. So, how are you doing so far through the first quarter? What are you looking to accomplish in the next 3 months, and how are you setting yourself up?
Everything I didn't accomplish in the first quarter.
Okay. How are you setting yourself up for success? How are you setting yourself up for success?
Things have been jostly, I guess I'll say, but there is progress. I've become standard on some things. I'm still here. Vitamin K again remains my mainstay. It's like if I wasn't doing anything else I feel like I'd be doing vitamin K on my deathbed. Just keep going. Last thing in. Period. Have fun.
Well, you were ahead for a little while. Are you still ahead?
No, I've managed to get no, not really. But I mean, the most consistent thing is I'm not waiting until 2:00 in the morning to do them now. At least good. Earlier in the night. But I was ahead for a while, and then I don't know what exactly happened. But I mean, I had a lot of stuff drop. So, but I plan to go back there because that was a comfortable position to be. Just having 2 days dropped in ahead of time relieves some stress.
Yeah.
Somehow my mind keeps telling me that stuff that's really, really fresh, like the night before I write the episode, has value, but not unless there's like a solar eclipse or something, to talk about that, because everything else in there is transportable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ideally you get to, ideally you write the sort of issue that I want to open again in 3 months and say, oh yeah, I needed that reminder. So
I do. And a lot of those come as inspiration at the time.
Yeah.
So
you can always write that for 3 days later instead of tomorrow.
I can do that. Yeah. So I can do that. Or if, I could stack them up, but anyway, for the most part, this last month has been pretty good. The issues have been good. I've had way less typos than normal. Since I'm not writing it in my sleep at 3:00 in the morning, to launch at 3:30. So that's kind of it. I want to say unfortunately in life, but not unfortunately in life. Sometimes some of the lessons we need today are the same ones we needed yesterday, because we kind of, sometimes depending on what's going on, it slips by you and you just need to hear it again. You just need to hear it again. So, so some of those are like that. And I've got enough stuff after writing it for almost, it's been, October was 10 years. So how far is this? And we're almost at 10 and a half. There's a lot of lessons that can come back up because, really, most of the stuff we do, we need to create a habit of using it and doing it and stuff. So I'm working on that still, but a couple other things I have been doing, I have let go. I have devalued a bit. Photography is one of them. I'm not actively seeking photography business right now because that's a whole other set of distractions. But I still love it. So I'm finding a way to put it in my life. But I have come to the conclusion, that one book talks about the one thing. I don't think I'm capable of doing the one thing. Listen to me program myself. Because a couple of things that are very important to me, but I consider them to be parts of the same thing. So, but I still need to really hone that so that it works.
Well, you can do the one thing several times, right? We were talking before we started recording about Elon Musk, who has an electric car company, and he has a rocket company, and he has a company that digs tunnels, and he has a company that makes solar panels, and he has a company that makes battery walls, and he has a company that does brain chips. And
we need to keep him out of politics.
Well, he's not American born, so he's never going to be president.
Oh, well, there you go.
But
he could own the guy who is. No.
He's
just kidding.
So he's got at times he's had to focus on each of these things, but they're all things that he's done well and built up and still concentrating on, right?
Yep.
So you can do the one thing over and over with different applications.
Sequentially, I think is what you're getting at there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in that we can't multitask anyway, right? It's just fast switching.
Yes. That is it. Yeah. I had a picture in my head right there, but that was all right. True enough. So, but all in all, things are well. So how about you? I know you had a couple of things that you were going to be doing.
Yeah. So I have been up and down this first quarter, had a couple of lung infections. That's been awesome. I have, they wind up just being daycare plagues, right? Just a lot of parents find that, they're great with their kid the first year, and then they send them to daycare and they keep getting sick and they bring it home. And my wife doesn't get this stuff because she's out of the house, and I'm always in the house. I go to the grocery store, I go pick up the kid from daycare. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not exposing myself to germs. So when she brings something back, I get it, and I get it back. So I've had to add, and I've started that this week, but it's going to be the regular routine, going places to my repertoire. And by going places, I just mean going places. Like, I've been to Home Depot a couple times this week. Yeah, I'm going to start going to the coffee shop and getting coffee a couple of times a week. Not because I need a fancy coffee. I've got good coffee in the house, but because I need to be somewhere that's not that's not a painful trip. It's half a mile away. I can go over there and get it and expose myself to whatever is floating around in the air. Just more of that to work on my health. I'm also, in the act of losing some weight and doing that. And that's actually going very well. I got hooked up with a program that I really enjoy, and has some accountability and some support. So it's not just, hey, are you doing it? It's, hey, I'm having trouble with this movement. I actually had this problem today. There's a new movement. This is week 4 that we're recording of 6 weeks, and they switched up some of the movements this week. And there's just this one movement that seems to take me forever to do. And on a timed program, that's not a good thing. So I was asking about it, and people said, yep, you know what? I know it seems weird, but that's about the right amount of time for a beginner to take to do that movement.
Cool.
Okay.
So now it's
I just gotta give myself the grace to learn the thing and get used to doing it, and my rep count's going to be low. That's it. But other than that, I've gotten through all the research I wanted to get through on fear for the book I've been talking about.
Awesome.
I've got a little bit more reading to do on creativity, and mostly because there's a guy whose work I've recently come across, Scott Barry Kaufman. Mm-hmm. We've mentioned his book Transcend, but he's got a couple other books on creativity, and he's running kind of a happiness and creativity center at Penn. And he's got some good writings that I want to look at. Really he's writing from a clinical psychology standpoint about not being particularly gifted, mm-hmm. being able to do that work anyway. So yeah, I'm interested in that. And then I can actually get to the writing, which is what I enjoy, and I'm going to battle resistance through it. I know I've already been dealing with that. I did a program with the Flow Research Collective to battle distraction. It was a mm-hmm. fairly good, it was a good tactical program. In fact, one of the videos said, I want you to pick up your phone and we're going to run through the settings right now. And mm-hmm. had you just go do the stuff they were talking about. Mm-hmm. So that wound up being pretty good. A lot of this stuff was things that Tim Ferriss brought up in way back in the 4-Hour Workweek, which was a long time ago now. It was
It's been a long time since a rewrite.
But the principles still stand. It's just more of a tactical how-to, mm-hmm. right? So batching, checking your email, and not responding right away, and letting people know that you're not going to respond right away. Just the tools to do that mm-hmm. have changed. The tools to interrupt you along the way have changed.
Yes, they have.
So they give a tactical. Here's how you handle your MacBook settings. Here's how you handle your iPhone settings. And then they also included, step-by-step downloadable PDFs for the Androids and PCs. They just find that their user base tends to be more Mac focused.
Okay.
And so they gear the videos that way.
I hear those Mac guys are smarter.
Not necessarily. They just use it differently.
Love it. Yeah. So just out of curiosity,
yeah.
What are some of the phone changes, the setting changes that you make?
So some of the phone setting changes are no badges. No notifications unless you really need them. Do not disturb for as many hours as you can. Airplane mode when you're trying to focus on work, so that even the stuff that would normally get through on do not disturb, it doesn't get through.
Hadn't thought of that.
So if you're on do not disturb and you have banners pop up,
right,
you won't get the audible notifications. But if you actually look at your phone screen, you'll see. Right. Oh, I got 36 emails and 15 text messages, and you're tempted to go in there.
Yeah.
But if you put it on airplane mode, they don't show up until you turn off airplane mode. So that kind of thing.
It's like I have, I won't even tell you how many email addresses I actually have for the stuff that I've been doing, but I tend to, from my phone, since I'm here at home most of the time, I try to set my phone so that I get very little in the way of email notifications on the phone. So most of my accounts are off, and I have to wait until I get to the computer to look at them. So if I can just not turn on the mail program, I'm set. Because once it shows up, it's like, oh, who are all those people? And no, I didn't order that. It's amazing how many people know my first name and tell me about the product that I ordered that's on the way, and then tell me how much it is, because they think I'm gonna actually write them back and go like, what are you talking about? Hey, I might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. That's all I got to say. Well, there you go. So the
back on the.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So back to getting on the book, getting some energy through some exercise and getting my immune system chunk back up. We got some, like I was saying in the intro, we got some plants, and that's it looks nice out there, and yes, we'll have some stuff to eat, but plants are also good for some oxygen. We're starting to bring some stuff into the house too, but we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that piecemeal because we have a toddler and a dog. So I got a couple of succulents for my desk. Just these little cacti or whatever.
I could probably use some green.
Yeah,
I need greens that will take care of themselves.
Right. Yeah, these things only need water every couple of weeks.
That would probably work.
And then I got a little aloe. I got a little aloe plant for the. It had to be small enough to get up on the mantle above the fireplace because they get little spikes. So but I think we're gonna try to find a house palm. They don't need a lot of sunlight. And, I can kind of sneak that behind the couch a little bit. Just get some greenery in here, and it's more oxygen circulating around the house. It's not just about being pretty. It's fresh air inside.
I might have to study a little Feng shui. I hear that stuff works, but I don't know enough about it to have a conversation about it right now. So maybe we should get a Feng shui expert on the show.
I'm sure we could find one or two. If one or two's listening, you could just go on over to jkwdpodcast.com and hit the contact.
Yeah,
and save us the
save us the search. Yeah,
the search, but yeah,
absolutely. So so all in all, I mean, I'm optimistic about the rest of the year.
Are you doing anything specifically to set yourself up for the next 90 days?
Yes, I'm in the process of actually I'm not gonna say rebranding, but re-energizing my coaching program, because I haven't been doing that. I've been doing some privately, but not, I haven't promoted it for that. And that's very, very high up on my list right now, because number one, I'm good at it. And it's one of the things that I dearly enjoy doing. So, I've done some pro bono stuff earlier in the year that's come out really, really well. So it's time to get that out there. So I enjoy that. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. And look, if you buy my coaching program, then, the Vitamin K Daily comes for free.
Hey, all right.
For the length of the coaching program. What could I say? We'll revisit that on another podcast.
Or you can go back and listen to. I think we did a podcast about you being a coach and what that meant, and some of the benefits of coaching. So,
yep,
we'll link back to that episode.
We continue to do that, and I'm even on the leadership team of our local, chapter. So, a lot of continuing education there to keep us going because. A lot of stuff going on in the world. Coaching is playing a larger and larger and larger part around the globe, strangely enough. And I find that our organization, International Coach Federation, actually establishes coaching ethics and guidelines for coaches around the world. I forget how many countries we're actually working with right now or part of, but bunches. So when I found out it was even seriously international, it's like, yeah, so we're changing a lot.
In a year when a lot of people have turned to some form of online therapy, can you give us a quick reminder of the difference between a coach and a therapist?
The difference between a coach and a therapist. A therapist, number one, you need a specific degree and certifications to be a therapist. Therapists get inside your mind for the most part. So they're like a psychologist. So a lot of those are looking at things that have happened in your past to find out what's going on in your mind, in your brain, perhaps, that's keeping you from doing things, what kind of fears you've got, what you're doing with those. Coaching is designed to help you, the person. I mean, at the root of coaching is the concept that you know what's best for you.
Okay.
So what we do is collaborate with you. And we ask a lot of questions. What we do is help you figure out what's stopping you from doing something and why that is. We don't necessarily, we're not looking at what happened in your childhood that made you have that. We're take here and now. So ours is how to take where you are and move forward, not what happened in your past, because you can end up reliving a bunch of stuff in the past, but how do you overcome that right now?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you get a flat tire on your car, we don't want to know what happened in your childhood that made you want to veer over to the right and do that. But right now we got to get the tire fixed. So
right, and you don't even care what happened on the tire. It's flat. Doesn't matter how it got that way.
Just get it fixed and just like move on. And that's probably one of the simplest analogies that I can make. The other thing about coaching is our goal is for when the coaching is done, that pretty much you have control of your life back, your values, your systems to go ahead. We don't want, you don't need us forever to be there to, tell you what to do next. So one of the greatest things we do is make sure is when you leave us, you got your own back.
Good stuff. All right. And I am, in terms of setting myself up for the next 90 days, I am, as we've mentioned a couple of times, we're recording this a couple of weeks ago from when it comes out. I'm refining what systems I'm going to use, but I'm going to actually use a tactical system for making sure that I'm getting my exercise, getting my rest, getting my family time, getting and doing the writing and doing the input and taking care of me, along with family along the way. So I have a couple in mind, but I've got to settle on one, and pretty sure I've got the system I'm going to use. But if I find that it's useful, I'll share it here.
Cool. Sounds like a winning proposition there, Mr. Shear.
All right, so launching into quarter 2 of 2021, hopefully the world is starting to feel a little bit more normal at the end of the second quarter. We'll talk about it at the end of June and see where we're at. But
a lot of people getting vaccinated, so
Yeah.
That should
yeah, a lot, but not a lot, right? The raw numbers are high, but at least in the U.S., the percentages are not. Yeah, something like something like 30 million adults have been vaccinated, but that's like 10% of the population, 10% of the adult population. So, 30 million sounds like a big number, but it's not a lot of people compared to who's around. So,
got to start somewhere, and it's ongoing. So it's not like
not
like you're doing it and stopping. So it's
right. And obviously there's still questions about the vaccine and how long is it effective? Do we need boosters?
Yeah.
But you know what? If it gets us back to traveling and on planes and not having to quarantine for a week or whatever, we were trying to do the math on taking a trip here, and it just didn't make any sense for us to try. It's like, in order for us to go to New York, at least, with the travel restrictions, when we looked, like, you had to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of travel.
Right.
And since most COVID tests take 2 to 4 days to get the results, there's really no way to guarantee that you'd have the results in time to travel. And then once we traveled to New York, it's a 10-day quarantine, except on day 4 of your quarantine, you can take a test and test out of that if that test comes back negative. So, but if you're talking about a 2 to 4 day turnaround there too for that test, then it's like, now you've got
a lot of time.
You've got to go for a minimum of 6 or 7 days.
Yeah, I had a funeral to go.
I can't travel for a long weekend right now. It just.
I had a funeral to go to, family funeral a few weeks ago, and between New York didn't have any restrictions on leaving, but Maryland had restrictions on coming in.
Right.
And then when I leave Maryland and come back here,
has restrictions for coming back in.
Right. So I don't know. Which,
of course, you can quarantine in your house. That's not a big deal for you.
That's true. Yeah. I don't have any friends.
Okay, also not true.
But at least it's. There's nobody impacted but me inside my house. So
right.
So it's good. So yeah, but I think it's going to get better because I'm an optimist. I think it's going to get better, and I think it's going to get better quick. So
good.
In 3 months, we'll see if I was right.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you for being here, everybody. I hope you have a great second quarter that you're marching on. Looking forward to keeping this up. We're past 250 episodes. We're marching toward 5 years that we've been doing this. Holy cow. VitaminKDaily.com. Get yourself 4 weeks free. JKWDpodcast.com for show notes for this and all our other episodes. And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Show notes and more at jkwdpodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends, and we will see you next week. Bye!
A Better Humanhood production.